Sweden has gone through the same thing we have. They made a major switch where the entitlement problems have now been resolved.
But through accounting?
Well,
one of the things they're doing is raising retirement age and linking retirement age to the average life expectancy of people. I mean, that's what you have to do.
That's anti-populist.
It's anti-populist, but unless you do that, you're just going to have more and more money being sucked into.
Should Medicare be means tested as well?
I'm not going to recommend what you should do in your country, but you've got to bring these things into balance.
You're a big admirer of our country. You can help us.
Here's what the real problem is. Back on page 299 or something in this year's report by the trustees of the Old Age and Survivors Benefit Program, Social Security, says that if we wanted to have an actuarially sound Social Security system, we have to cut benefits by 25% indefinitely in the future. I suggest to you it's on page 299, because that's the actuaries speaking, not the politicians who signed the report. But it's still there, and that's what the facts are. And the reason is the way Sweden got out of it is that they go from a defined benefit system, which is what we have today, to a defined contribution, a 401k sort of thing. 401ks automatically create their own revenues, and they are never in deficit. And that's where the major gap problem is. So yes, they will slow down, and they will slow down for exactly the same reasons that Sweden solved the problem.
We have an election coming up. The soul or the geographic center of the Democratic Party at this point seems to be much higher, or much greater entitlements in terms of single payer, and in terms of Medicare for all. I mean, we see the people, we see where the excitement is, and is that would make things worse, would it
you
not?
have to say, Trump's not worried about entitlements. He's not doing anything. He's one of the first Republicans not to try and tackle the entitlement. But
Bernie Sanders, or Ocasio-Cortez, or any of the real Elizabeth Warren, the excitement on the left is for more entitlements, is it not?
Absolutely. They're all involved in single entry bookkeeping. They don't like to do the debit side, just they want the credit side. And the world is double entry. And if you want to get ourselves into real serious trouble, don't attack this problem. I'm telling you, Sweden solved it. The solution is not economic, it is political.
Yes. Yes.
And the question is, do we have the guts to do what the Swedes did?
Well, Sweden also, I think, does have single payer, does it not? And that's always what's held up as an example of how we should run our healthcare here. And then the critics always point out that it's 9 million people or something. It's not.
Well, all you have to do is get the correct financing system that creates the revenues that the entitlements create. And to be sure, as the population ages, we're going to build up ever-increasing entitlement levels. And as far as I can see, everyone is blinding themselves to that fact. It's built into the data. The Congressional Budget Office forecasts that there's major troubles ahead. Nobody is listening. The reason they don't listen is that the financial community doesn't care about bookkeeping. What they care about, which is what they're going to confront, is inflation. Remember, inflation back in the 70s, 1971, caused 4 or 5%, caused Richard Nixon to put wage and price controls on. And the reason he did is as the inflation rate went up, the politics got extremely unstable. But it is not the fact of the entitlements per se that's doing it.